Hi guys, and welcome to the live stream. We have a full view, actually, of a lot of people today, which is good. We have two new guests, Yaiderenko, Tomasz. Welcome. Thank you for joining the live stream. We've been trying to get you guys on board for quite some time, but thank you for making it today. Of course, everybody knows Sahbi and Papimento. Welcome, guys. Guys,
What's up,
what's up, guys? The Klassieker on Sunday. Who's ready? Who's nervous? Who's nervous? Nobody's nervous.
A little bit of tension, but not nervous, man. Not at all.
All right. Actually, what was funny, I just want to say that I was driving towards work today, and I was thinking, of course, then you start thinking about Ajax and stuff, and I was thinking, like, how times have changed, in 7 weeks. Because if it was Schreuder still being our coach going into Feyenoord, I mean, honestly, do you remember the time that we would play like Volendam and all these other teams and we still didn't know whether we win, yes or no?
Every time we play against the team.
Do we really have to talk about that guy?
Schreuder, no. I was just trying to say that.
I thought you wanted me here and you wanted to have a nice discussion. Please proceed. Do not mention the.
I will not. Okay. We will not mention the previous coach. All right, guys, welcome. Let's talk about Sunday first and foremost. Tomasz, I think you have a lot to say about Ajax, but also about the upcoming game. So I'll give it to you first. What do you expect? What kind of game do you expect? What would be your lineup, ideally? What would you go for? And maybe also, how do you think this is a title decider already? I mean, we still have a few games after, but do you think this is critical? A must-win game, basically.
Well, it's not only a must-win game. We obviously have a way more difficult fixture list after the game. We do not only have to win, but we have to win big. We have to get in their heads. We have to make them doubt themselves. Actually, this is something I always expect from us in those games. But we really need that when we win, because I'm sure we're going to. We'll still not show, we're not huge favorites to win the title. We have very tough games ahead of us, especially the away fixture at PSV. So we have to win. We have to win big. We have to inject some doubt into the Rotterdam team. When it comes to the lineup, I wouldn't make any drastic changes. I would stick for what's been working pretty well so far. I think that the squad at the moment is getting used to Bassi in the central defense, so I would keep him there. Let's keep Bergwijn. He's been getting better and better, and possibly this is going to be the big game. He's going to finally really, really shine and show that, at the very beginning of the season, I had the impression that he's way too big for the league, for the Dutch league at the moment, and I really miss this feeling. So I would like to experience this again, finally. Yeah, and I want the team to reproduce to replicate the feeling that even if the Rotterdam team, even if they are at the very top of their game, they're going to lose in Amsterdam anyways. So we're at the top of our game this season right now. So I hope that at least a 3-goal margin is something we need. We not only have to expect that, but we really need that. But when it comes to the lineup, the goalkeeper is the Argentinian guy, Rensch, Timber, Bassi. Left back. Let's not experiment right now. I would keep Wijndal. Edson. Next to him. This is the question. I'd go with Klaassen. Who's really the guy that we need the spirit from him in this game. So Kudus, obviously. easily our best player at the moment. Tadic up front, Bergwijn on the left wing, and who am I missing?
Nobody.
Taylor, I don't know.
I think it comes down to the midfield. We're getting questions on that from Murder Inc. Thank you for that, a comment, and also from Ravish, both saying like, who are you choosing on the midfield? Would you go with the same as what we did against Heerenveen? So you go with Taylor, Berghuis, and who was the other one? Alvarez, of course. Sorry. Or would you go a little bit more to experience? Maybe Heitinga will choose Klaassen instead of Taylor. What would be your choice in that?
Well, I have like very bad experiences, like memories maybe rather, with Berghuis in those games. Still, I guess we need him. He's the one guy in the midfield that can send a really creative and a good long ball. And I'm not missing the previous game plan we had under the previous manager. But from time to time, it's good to mix it up, and he's the creative guy who is capable of doing that. With Edson in the midfield, I guess we have enough cover for Berghuis making his mistakes, because he's going to make some. I'm sure that's what he always does. But all in all, altogether, it's most of the time it's worth it. So basically it comes to whether we want Taylor or we want Klaassen.
Yes.
I would go with the older one. I would go with Mr. 1-0, mainly because of his experience and mainly because of his spirit. This is going to be a tough game when it comes to the physical aspect, and I believe that Davi is the one who's going to be like more useful in that department. Not that Taylor is way worse in that, but I'd go with Davi.
Okay. All right. Clear. Before I give it to you, Yaiderenko, on the same questions, basically, what you expect of the Klassieker, your starting 11, basically, and whether it's a must-win game. I just want to say, like everybody on the chat, please let us know whether you will also go for Taylor or Klaassen, or maybe you have a different lineup so we can have a look at it as well. Yaiderenko, what's your view on the upcoming game on Sunday?
I think it could be tight, but it could also be a walkover, because I think Ajax needs to do one thing only, and that's pressing. And then you have to have a little bit of luck with the moments you get. And if you come ahead 2-0, then it's going to be a walk in the park. But it really depends on the form of the day of the creative players and forward players. I wouldn't change that much, although I'm not really happy with Wijndal. But I wouldn't change too much just before this big game. That's basically it for me. I don't think it's per se a decider, because there are a lot of games, and we all know under pressure, especially Champions pressure, that teams do really strange things. But it would be a mountain if you lost.
Yeah, that means we will trail 6 points. Actually 5, because we have a better goal difference. But yeah, the thing is for me, Feyenoord, one way or another, it reminds me a little bit of the Twente season.
Yes.
In which they're like always making, the winning goal at the end, and that's how Twente became champions. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be the same, but it has a lot of resemblance, basically. So for me personally, I don't want to risk it. I just want to make
sure. You want to win.
Yeah,
you want to win every game. But you asked me if I think it's decisive, and I don't think it has to be decisive, especially if you draw, which is far from ideal. But I don't think it's lost. Even if you win, it's not all won yet. Because there are a lot of games we got like what was said. we got PSV away. We got AZ at home, who always do well against us.
Twente away.
We got Twente away.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be that easy, but it doesn't have to be that groundbreakingly hard, because if you look at what Ajax performs on the pitch, especially in the eredivisie, it just looks better and better, and they're building something and getting trust and getting more stability. So I don't think that should have to be a big problem.
All right. But you still want to win on Sunday, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Always.
Jesus.
Actually,
Is that even a question, bro? Jesus.
Just to be clear.
what a question.
Yeah. Sahbi, your take.
Shit in the woods.
Your take, Sahbi. What's your take? Do you agree with our guests?
Most of it. I mean, I agree most with Tomasz, but not entirely. For me, I don't care whether we win with a big margin. It's a must win. It's a must win, because if we lose, it's not only Feyenoord getting a gap of 6 points with an easier fixture list, but also means that AZ can be second. It also means PSV will have the same points as us, because they are 3 points, and we will play in Eindhoven, so we could even lose our second spot. So it's a must win for us. Even a draw could create issues. So it's a one, and I don't care whether we win with 3-0 or 1-0. It's just a win, and of course with good football. But if we don't manage, just win the game. And in terms of the lineup, I would change indeed Klaassen. I would put Klaassen in instead of Taylor, and not because I don't like Taylor, because I think he's a good player, but he is a bit out of form. And next to that, Feyenoord is a team that wants to disrupt our back line. They want to force us making errors and create chances from there. So they play really high. And Taylor is lately known for letting his direct opponent go. Like he doesn't stick with his direct opponent, and that can be an issue. Next to that, as Tomasz said, it can be also a really hard game, and Klaassen is a player who can cope with that, also with his experience, hardworking. But not only that, Klaassen played really good games these last games. I mean, he didn't play. He wasn't started against Heerenveen, but before that, he had good games. So I would use that experience and that form to play him. So I wouldn't change a lot, but normally, I mean, realistically, it won't happen. But normally, I would even go for and again, this is not the lineup that I want to see because this Sunday, because there's no room for experiments. But I will go for a 3-4-3 because I'm not fond of our fullbacks. So I will play with 3 central defenders and a really strengthened midfield, and that would be my take. But of course, not something that we need to experiment with. And yeah, I mean, that's it. We just go for the win and boost some confidence. Make sure that Feyenoord gets shaky. It's going to be the first minutes. It's going to be very difficult because Feyenoord wants to disrupt us, and they know if they let us build up, they will get in trouble. So, and Slot knowing he wants to disrupt that part. So it's going to be difficult at the start, but with our home advantage, with the crowd, etc., it should eventually, be a win for us.
All right. I wanted to ask you a question. I think Yaiderenko also wanted to react, but I just want to give it to Papimento quick also, so we have everybody.
Are you sure, bro? Because I'm on a different.
Yeah.
opinion.
No. Okay. Let's. Okay.
Okay.
So can you hold? Can I give it to Yaiderenko? Maybe you want to.
Go.
All right.
I'm just wondering, how does it look 3-4-3?
How does it look? I will play with 3 center backs. So playing Timber, playing Bessie, and I would even start with Hato, maybe as center back. But if you want real experience, you can always play Alvarez there or Grealish.
And then the midfield.
Midfield, so I won't play with I won't play like a 3-4-3 with fullbacks, but with basically the midfielders that we currently have in possession. So with Alvarez, for example, or Grealish, with Berghuis, you can play Taylor. As long as we have 2 controlling midfielders, I wouldn't mind which kind of 2 attacking midfielders we would use. I'm not fond of playing 3-4-3 with fullbacks like a Vandal on the left midfield and a Renshaw on the right midfield, because they are the reasons why I would play with a 3-4-3 system.
Okay, all right. I honestly, I'm in doubt whether that would work against Feyenoord, to be honest, because
no, I'm not saying against Feyenoord. I'm saying I would opt for this lineup because I'm not very satisfied with the fullbacks.
You're talking in general.
In general.
All right, Papimento, go ahead. You don't agree with anyone, so spill it.
No. That's not what I said. I don't agree on the Klasse Taylor. Look, we saw the Heerenveen game. We saw Berghuis breaking passes. We saw Taylor with an important link up for the Bergwijn goal, the second goal.
And he scored.
So, yeah. And I think Feyenoord is going to press a lot. And if you have a footballing midfield, because like Sahbi, I'm not convinced about the fullbacks doing build-up. I'm not convinced about our center backs doing build-up. So you have to have a footballing midfield, and if you choose for Klasse, that whole footballing midfield goes away. You're not gonna use the spaces you get properly without the technical players on your midfield. So that's why I think we should play Taylor and not Klasse, even though Klasse has been playing amazing. And I think this is the time for Taylor to show his Ajax heart, show his level, show that he's growing, because he's playing almost every game. Then you're not going to take him out against in the Klassieker against Feyenoord. Then you should start him, and he should show his quality.
Okay, let me. This is a good point. Let me ask you guys, all of you, a question, and you guys can react and discuss together, and also the ones that are watching. Who's in better form? Let's start with that. Who has been in better form recently, Taylor or Klasse? I mean, we're not even considering, to be honest, which is funny, we're not even considering the position of Berghuis. Berghuis wasn't in great form recently, but we're not even discussing him. We're discussing Taylor and Klasse. So if
wasn't he a player of the month?
I'm sorry?
Wasn't he a player of the month from Opta, right? Or who was it?
Eredivisie, ESPN.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Absolutely.
Yeah.
How can you doubt the player of the month, right?
So let me ask you this question first, and second of all, that's another question. So last week against Heerenveen, Heitinga said he chose Taylor. It's a tactical choice because he felt like Heerenveen is going to press. They're going to open up, and press us. So he wanted football, like you said, Papimento. But when we played the week before, I think we played NEC, correct me if I'm wrong, and there he chose to play Klasse. But then my question is, if you look at Klasse versus Taylor, if you look at Taylor playing against Heerenveen, I felt like we were playing with 2 10s. And with NEC, we were playing a little bit more with 2 controlling midfielders. So I think that's the difference. How are we going to play against Feyenoord? Are we going to play so attacking with 2 10s? Then I think you should opt for Taylor. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys don't agree. But if we're going to be a bit more controlling, I think you should opt more for Klasse on the midfield. So which tactics would you guys go for? And also alluding back to my first question, who's in better form? So what would you guys say? Tomasz, you go ahead first.
Okay, so it's a very, who's in better form? Rui or Tadic? This is a little bit of this kind of question, right? Because both Klassen and Taylor are midfielders, but they're used for entirely different things. You want Klassen way higher up the pitch, and Taylor most of the time is used, more of a 6-ish role. So
I don't agree. I don't agree. Wait, Thomas, I don't agree because he's been used as a 6.
But regardless, if he's even more in the build-up or more in a playmaking for whatever reason role, we can call the positions whatever you like. He's playing deeper compared to Klassen. Yeah, that's what I mean. Klassen is always higher up the pitch. Yeah.
Yes,
agree.
But the only reason,
yes.
Thomas, the only reason we do that is because we don't have enough football in the back. We have to pick up from the midfield the ball to start the build-up. If you don't have Berghuis or Taylor option, then it becomes very easy for us to be pressed. To be honest, or it's going to be a long ball game.
Well, it all comes to if we're capable of building up from the back. Because if we're there, if we're up front, well, Klassen is the guy who will find the ball in the box. He's the one who will be able to help you with the 1-2s to break the opposition's defense. I guess I'd rather see Klassen mostly for the, he's going to shout at the referee and make him make good decisions, and get a yellow card as well. It's not a huge difference for me. I think we can do fine with both. But for this tough fixture, I would go with Klassen simply because of how he's like a. We don't have as many, let's say, dirty players as him, and I guess we need more than just Edson for this game. Also, Ravish, I've seen ask me if I doubt Edson. I have my opinions on Edson, but he absolutely has to play on Sunday. Yeah, so that's a no discussion.
Despite him blocking you on Twitter, you still want him to play?
Well, yeah.
Did he block you?
Yeah, way ago, a long time ago. But yes, he did.
What the hell?
You said something to him. You weren't nice to him. All right.
Weak mental.
Yaiderenko, what's your point of view on the whole midfield? What would be your preferred midfield? Yaiderenko, what would be your preferred midfield? No problem.
Preferred midfield, but that's not for Sunday. Because if you look at my formations, I always put Kudus in the midfield. But
okay.
I can imagine you're not going to experiment with that, or I don't think it's an experiment, but I would start with the formation you have right now, because you have some steadiness, you have some trust, so keep that. But I would definitely play with Kudus on the midfield. On tactical perspective, if you want to press, in my opinion, you're always better with a diamond midfield with the point to the back. So with a 6 and 2 8s, not 2 10s, 2 8s. And then do the pressing
kind
game.
of the Barcelona style, you mean? What they had with Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, kind of that?
Style.
Yeah, Ajax, Barcelona. But Barcelona was also with 3-4-3. With the diamonds in the midfield.
Okay, but who would you, just out of curiosity, if your ideal starting 11 would be Kudus playing on the midfield, who would be your right winger then?
Conceição, I think.
Yeah,
Conceição. Okay. All right.
Give him some time in lesser games and see what he can produce.
Okay,
but guys, let's come back to the Taylor story, because Taylor against Heerenveen, he scores.
I agree.
He has the link-up play and the technical ability. Why would you want to bench him? He's so important for our link-up play on midfield.
We should not forget it's Heerenveen. They were really poor in the first half, and it's not because Ajax played well, because they played well, but Heerenveen, their tactics weren't that great. They left so much space in midfield that Taylor got so much time to pick up the ball, turn, and do whatever he wanted. So it's easier. I don't expect Feyenoord to give our midfield a lot of time. I don't expect that.
Why are you considering the opponent? You have a game plan, and that works out or not. but you have a game plan, and based on that game plan, you have to pick your players. So I agree with
I
Papi.
will also choose a footballing midfield.
Footballing player because you want to.
No, but let me start with. I like Taylor the way he play. I like Taylor as a player individually,
Okay.
but in my view, he's not in form yet. So he's not the player that he was at the start of the season or at the end of last season. For me, Klasse is a bit more in form, so I go for form instead of player. That's
Can
my
I respond to that quickly? Just quickly.
And if we had somebody on the bench that had technical capabilities like Taylor that we can substitute for, I would say yes. But you're talking about Taylor and Klasse, and that's two different kind of players, and that's why I would keep Taylor.
Okay.
Yeah, but it depends on how you play.
Can I react quickly? I think we have to keep in mind that the worst performances of Taylor also has to do with the position that he was playing. He was playing as a 6.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying out to be a 6 because Heitinga put him there to help out with the build-up.
He also had
Clearly, mostly 6. And clearly he said after Heerenveen's game in the interview that he feels much more comfortable playing as an 8 or more going forward because that creates more freedom for him. So if we play Alvarez, then maybe Papimento and Yaiderenko are right. Maybe it is more suited to Taylor. But let's be honest. Look, recently, that's my opinion. Recently, I think Klasse has been much more stable as a player than Taylor. Taylor always runs the risk that he's a little bit, how do you call it? Sometimes he plays like a youth player, in my opinion. You know,
he takes responsible way too often.
Yeah, he can be a liability sometimes.
Exactly, and yeah. So anyways, people can have different opinion on that. I just want to go over I think it was a question for Papimento. Let me see if I can bring this up quickly. Yeah, here we go. So from Papi, how many loss of possessions did Taylor have? Answer me. So this is a concern for a lot of fans.
I understand, but what would you rather see? Somebody that has a lot of mistakes in his passing, but at least he's moving forward with the ball? Or do you want to see just backline passing, side passing, keeper passing, and then hoping to a long ball? No, that's the Schreuder ball. I don't want that. I want technical football. I want build-up. I want to put pressure on them, on their half. I want that. That's the Ajax I want. And not the Ajax that just leans back and changes formation and just wants to fight and press. That's not only Ajax.
Okay. Yeah, but what we want to see is different.
Yeah, and if
actually see.
Yeah, I know, Sahbi, and I see also Feyenoord press hard. Yeah, Feyenoord press hard, but these are also teaching moments for Taylor. And what if he has an amazing game against Feyenoord?
Yeah, but
this is a separate game. This is a separate game.
I don't think we need to use. I don't think we need to use.
And what if he has a terrible game?
Yeah,
you can always opt for Klasse later, man. You can always opt for Klasse later. But if you have a decent Taylor on the midfield, he's going to give you so much more in creating chances, especially against Feyenoord that's pressing so hard. If you position yourself right, if you take up the half spaces right, you can do so much as a technical player. And what Klasse is not going to do that.
And how many times did we have a Taylor you're describing in a big game? Can you remember?
None.
One?
But how many big games did we win? By the way, none. So
yeah, but you also have last
don't
season.
start to me about Taylor because that was all on the Schreuder ball.
Okay, but also as far as I remember, it's been more than 2 games. We have an actual manager, and as far as I remember. Klassen played quite a bit, and we played football as well. So it's possible to play football with Klassen on the pitch, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But I like Taylor more. I like Taylor more as a player. But I'm just looking at the form. He needs to learn a bit more, and I don't think Feyenoord is the game where you want to experiment or teach, etc., etc. So, but knowing Heitinga, I think he will play the same 11.
Did you see Liverpool, Real Madrid?
Yeah. Terrible game.
If you're talking about form, it's a myth, I think.
What do you mean? It's a myth?
What do you mean?
In the first 20 minutes, Liverpool was playing Liverpool ball, and Real Madrid was nowhere. After that, it was all Real Madrid. So they had the trust, they had the confidence, they had the gameplay, and they lost it. And that's a top-class team.
Yeah, but that's
Liverpool
comparing
hasn't been
apples
great
with
this
oranges,
season.
huh?
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about a game that was lost 5-2. I mean, there's a different tactic,
They
different
won
strategy.
7-0 from United.
Sorry?
Liverpool.
Yeah, and the week
Yeah.
after they lost against the
Brentford.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The last
Exactly.
one.
That's
Exactly.
exactly my point.
But I'm talking about form of players and not form of a team. With
Yeah,
a team,
but
you
I think-
depend on each other. So that's what I said. Apples with oranges comparing.
And I think people are exaggerating how good actually Feyenoord is, because I see here, Papi, come on, we need a player who likes going deep in opponent's box. Klaassen does that. Fine. Who's going to bring that ball to Klaassen? And Feyenoord will kill us if we lose the ball.
So you're saying, okay, hold on. You're saying we're
Are you
overestimating.
serious?
Okay, hold on. You're saying we're overestimating Feyenoord. When was the last time Feyenoord lost a game?
That's a contradiction, by the way.
No, I'm saying they're very stable. But look at how they're winning. 2-1s, 1-0s.
Wait. That's not the answer to my question.
In quality.
When was the last time they lost a game?
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it was, not from the top of my head, but I think it was somewhere in early November or maybe October even. So,
And that means something for Ajax. The eredivisie level is the level of which Ajax should be held accountable to.
Yeah, but let's.
Yeah.
I have a point here.
Look,
I think you are overestimating Feyenoord if you.
Who is you? Me.
Papimento.
Okay.
I think Papimento is overestimating Feyenoord if he thinks that Berghuis with Edson cannot build up against them, and we need another creative midfielder, right?
Yeah, because I'm not convinced.
So
with
you are
Weigl and Rens.
overestimating them.
Yeah, because we don't have much build-up, Tomasz. It's that's a known fact throughout the whole season.
Yeah, but
so that doesn't mean I'm talking about Feyenoord or overestimating Feyenoord.
It's not like we are winning our games as well with 4-0, 5-0. I mean, we won from Vitesse 2-1. We won from Nijmegen Nek 1-0. It's not like we are playing our best football. It's always first half, and then second half we really getting in trouble against our opponent. So It's not like Feyenoord's winning their games narrowly. Ajax as well.
Let me come back to you. How bad did we play under Schreuder against Feyenoord?
I'm not comparing Schreuder.
No. I want
station.
What was the result against Feyenoord in the Kuip while we were playing under Schreuder?
1-1.
It was 1-1.
Okay. Even then, they couldn't win from us. So you're telling me at home we cannot make that difference? Are you serious? With a better coach? With better football?
Yeah, but if you compare that, how many times did we win from PSV in Eindhoven?
Dude, are you what? Am I?
No, but
you
look at stats. You look at stats, but we are always losing games in
No,
Eindhoven.
I'm not looking at stats. No, Sahbi, I'm not looking at stats. I'm looking at how the game went, and we still got a draw out of it. And we were terrible. We were playing only long balls. That's what I'm trying to say.
But that doesn't mean that Feyenoord played well. They were also terrible that day.
But they were also pressing us, and in the first half, they could have scored much more than what the score was. So let's be realistic.
First half, yeah. So
we were a bit lucky with the goal of Klaassen, but okay.
Lucky, definitely.
So, Papimento, wrap up, because you're very excited today, as everybody's noticing that, I think. But
it's because of my Kudus shirt, man. I swear, it's giving me energy.
Probably that's the reason. But just quickly, so if I hear you talking, you're not even concerned about Sunday. You're totally confident we're going to
I expect the win. Yeah, as an Ajax seat, you have to expect the win. You have to have that Amsterdam bravura that we talk about. You have to be, full confident that Ajax can take this. I never expect somebody to come to the arena to win, no matter who.
No.
So yeah, I'm that confident that we should win this.
If I wouldn't know you better, I would say you're related to Tadic. He said the same. So all right.
Fuck alles. Fuck alles.
Dusan. Guys, let's move. Let's move to the next topic quickly. I wanna ask you guys if you had the chance to.
Sorry, can I add one more thing to the Klassieker?
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, because we can argue all we want in the Klaassen Taylor argument.
Yeah.
We can talk a lot about it, but all in all, I believe it's something that we've been really strong on the Heitinga. It's the mental side of the game. Yeah, we have to be certain, we have to be focused, we have to have the desire to win, and we're going to be fine regardless of if we play Klaassen or Taylor. I guess we all agree on that. Yeah, we have better players. Everybody says that because it's true. It's not a matter of opinion. Obviously, we're a bigger club. It's also a fact, not a matter of opinion. We're better. You know that really. Yeah? We're bound to be cocky. I guess. So yeah. The thing is, this is the place where we're going to we have to be strong, and if we find that, I'm sure we'll do just fine.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of comments from our viewers about I think Feyenoord. I'm reading Feyenoord won 7-1 tonight. How much is that will boost their confidence towards Sunday, or doesn't matter? They played tonight. They will be tired when they play us on Sunday. So which one is it for you guys? Is it the mental is heavier than the physical, or what do you guys think? Sahbi, what do you think?
I think both. I mean, you play on Thursday. It's always difficult to play your next game in the weekend, and they play away. They don't have any.
No, they're playing home today.
No, they are playing away in the weekend. They're playing away in the weekend.
Oh, okay.
So they're playing away in the weekend without any support from their fans.
Yes.
It will be difficult from their side, and mentality. Of course, if you play in Amsterdam, if you play in the arena, it's always difficult. It's like you're entering hell, and you can't get out. You're shivering, and that's what I expect.
All right. Okay, guys, we have to move because we're running a bit out of time. So okay, this is a good one from BRN. Just let me pull this up quickly. So he's saying maybe Feyenoord, so they will overestimate themselves now, but they're nothing much more than a workers' team. All right, we know this as well.
Actually, I must say they do have some quality though, but it's
they have
not better than Ajax. They do,
of course.
Like I like Geertruida, for instance. I think he's a very good footballer. Like he could be.
He could be a bench player for us.
You're basically 2 minutes ago you were saying we're overestimating them, and now you're saying they're a good
no,
team.
but I'm just saying they don't have the quality Ajax has, but they do have certain players that are quality.
Yeah, sure.
You're triggering me as well, but this is the last question, and then we really have to move forward. So no more reaction from anyone on Feyenoord this Sunday. The pundits, I've been hearing Dutch pundits saying, I will give it to Yaiderenko, that, like Papimento said, we have the better players, but Feyenoord, you hear everybody saying Feyenoord is the better team. Do you agree with that, Yaiderenko?
I think I agree with Heitinga. Wijndal said he is, I believe, the best left back in Holland or something like that.
No, they have the best left side of Europe or something.
Left side.
Yes,
left side.
yeah.
Good
That
line.
was show it. They have talks for 10, so just show it on Sunday. I do think Ajax has more quality. I do think Slot is a very, very smart coach, tactically smart coach, and gets out of the team what you can get out of the team. So
he gets the max out of the team.
Yeah, mostly he does.
Everybody would agree. Everybody agrees that what the pundits are saying, that Feyenoord is the better team compared to Ajax.
Yes, I think so. Just because of the stability they had during the season.
Yeah. I think the gap is getting smaller.
Ajax has more stability lately, and it shows in the gameplay. Look at the Heerenveen game. The football was getting better and better, and the combinations were getting better and better. And it's not top notch yet, but the tempo was okay. So
still concerning. Concerning that we got the 2 goals conceded.
Yeah,
and those were very easy given actually to the opponent.
All right. Okay, guys, let's move to the next. So what I was about to say before Papimento had to say that Feyenoord has some good things. So thank you for that.
Some
things. Guys, the NRC, a Dutch newspaper, came out with basically a summary, actually a research and a summary of everything that happened last season during the summer, the transfer, etc. What went wrong, what happened behind the curtains. And, well, it was a bit shocking. Most of the things we already knew a little bit, but not the whole story. I don't want to take too much time on this, but I just want your quick reaction because you guys read the article. What stand out the most for you reading that article? Like, what was the most shocking for you? That's first. And second of all, what would be the first maybe thing that our new chairman, our new technical director, who's going to be appointed according to Van der Sar before the end of the month, what's the first thing they have to solve in the organization to run a smooth process, in your opinion? Who wants to take this first? I'm not going to give it to someone, but okay, Tomasz, go ahead.
Yeah. So first of all, it struck me that it's extremely unprofessional from Ajax to give so sole knowledge and responsibilities to one person who did not share anything with anyone, with no plan of replacing him in case of the dick pics.
We're talking about Overmars, yeah. Okay.
Yes, yeah, obviously about Overmars, and say what you want about Mark and if he did a good job or not, because I think he wasn't perfect. It took him some time to get to the point where he left us. Still, it is absolutely unacceptable, like for him to keep the knowledge, the contacts, and so on, just to himself. Yeah, it's. I was struck. I was shocked that it went that far. One of our newly appointed directors, the guy who worked with the railroad stuff. He told in an interview. I can't remember the name. Sorry. He told in one of the interviews that the most important thing is to develop a succession plan. Yeah, the ways of how stuff should be replaced if should a thing like Overmars pop up.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's pretty shocking that it has to be developed. It's like something absolutely crucial and very basic. But yeah, this has to be done. Like a structure or a rule book of what should be done if a person in a high position leaves. Van der Sar told us that he's not going to be here in 10 years for sure. So yeah, if he leaves, I don't know, in a year or two, we're going to be in a similar chaos that we're in right now. That shouldn't take place. We should take precautions, and I don't hope. I expect this to happen. Yeah, to the club to be professional, basically. Yeah, because the whole Tadic agent holding a bunch of negotiations, a bunch of people being surprised with that, and so on. We're a pretty big club, I guess, and I guess we should act as one. So yeah,
all right,
that's that.
Yaiderenko, do you want to add something to that, or maybe share your views on the article quickly?
Yeah, I don't think it's really shocking because we all know Ajax is not run like a professional club. I think the fact that Ajax is a listed company is most shocking of all. If you then rewind back and then see what happens and how they were dealing with millions and millions of euros, it's really, really strange that there's no plan, there's no structure, there's no handoff, there's nothing. That's unprofessional. It's a mess, and I think this started earlier. It's not a result of only Overmars leaving. It's also a result of Overmars, Ten Hag, and Van der Sar focusing way too much on the transfers and leaving the academy players too much aside. And in that regular pace, they went on buying players while they never looked at options from the youth. I'm not saying they should have, but the whole not being used to doing that is totally not Ajax.
Okay.
The lifeline is always the academy, and we should always firstly fall back on our own youth, not on players from the outside.
Unless they're better.
Unless the scouting reports say they're better. And if
They're
the
significantly better.
Say, no, we don't think he's worth that, then it's maybe wise to listen a little bit to the scouting reports, because they're there for a reason.
Okay. Guys, just quickly before I give it to you, Sahbi, for me, just to give my opinion, everything you guys said, I agree. For me, the most, I'm not going to go too much into detail, but for me, what's shocking is that, once you realize that you have to replace players, which are very important to Ajax, and you realize you don't have an international network, you don't have the contacts, you don't have all these kind of things, that you just hire somebody in football world, we all know the least trustworthy people are the agents. You're going to basically put your confidence in an agent to arrange to strengthen your squad. That for me is like a big red flag already. And then also what I had to laugh, I'm sorry, but I had to laugh when I read that he would get a fixed fee, but Ajax didn't know whether he would get a percentage of the other side,
The commission, yeah.
Come on, guys. Seriously. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead. Go ahead.
What is also shocking to me was that they don't have a standard contract for players, also for youth players. They just accept the talks they have and the negotiation they have via words, via text, and that's it. There's no apparent structure from out the club.
We will touch upon that. We will touch upon that because we have to touch upon Axel van Dongen, which we'll come back to in a bit. So it goes further than only Axel. So I just want to allude to that, but a bit later. Just give it quickly to Sahbi about the article if he wants to add something, and Papimento as well, of course.
No, I just want to say, my main shocks were that Ajax was so dependable on Overmars. Too dependable. There was no reporting. There were no transcripts of the negotiations that have been held or a list of contacts, etc. So they were too dependable, and I have to blame the technical commissioner because he's responsible for this topic. And yeah, it's ridiculous, especially for a listed company.
Isn't Van der Sar liable in this?
No, because Overmars needs to report to the supervisory board and not to Overmars.
To Van der Sar.
Really? Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah, not report to Van der Sar, but report to the supervisory
board. Yeah, because he's one of the directors mentioned in the articles, etc. They need to report to. So the day-to-day actions is, of course, for Van der Sar. He's responsible overall, but Overmars himself is responsible. He needs to report to the supervisory board, and especially the technical commissioner within the supervisory board.
Not to make things too logical, right?
Yeah, very strange structure, but whatever.
Yeah, but this is normal in general during in corporations. But what struck me as well is, as you took the words out of my mouth, Juan, with regards to Mladenovic, the agent, the fact that he was able to take decisions to. I saw a piece in the article saying that Ocampos costed 7 million, and he has seen these 6 months as a holiday. That should say enough. A holiday in the Netherlands, short holiday. I mean, it's so ridiculous. And from that aspect is the responsibility of Van der Sar. It's under the umbrella of Van der Sar because he was the one who was signing off. He was the one who should have controlled, who should have looked at what the agent was doing because he is responsible indirectly for Schreuder.
Look, we already touched upon this whole thing in previous videos, and I think I'm not gonna be defending Van der Sar too much, but I am gonna defend him a little bit because the problem is that Blind, of all people in the article, you see that Blind is apping the chairman and saying, "What are we doing with Ocampos? Are you serious? This has to be a joke." He's apping him like he's 28. He doesn't have any rest value. And what about what about Conceição? We just got Conceição for the right wing position. So basically, it took a commissioner who was basically not working for Ajax at the moment because he was busy with the Dutch national team to app the chairman and tell him like, "What are you guys doing?" And then it got blocked. Hold on. The thing I'm trying to say is that there was, I don't know what the interim was doing because we had Koster sitting there.
Yeah, nothing.
So I honestly don't know what he was doing. But the only thing I want to say is the commissioner, the technical commissioner, and the chairman, the supervisory board, they are the ones that are responsible, as we know, to appoint a technical director, which they didn't. We all know in the article what happened with Cruz from Go Ahead Eagles. The whole situation. We also know that they tried other people as well. They didn't come. So they did try, but then I don't know why they decided just to abandon.
Nobody knows.
And then go with Hamstra and Huntelaar, basically.
Yeah, indeed.
And together with Van der Sar.
No,
and
true, but Van der Sar
actually said,
but they didn't.
Hold on. Van der Sar said in an interview, I don't know whether it's looking back, and seeing this, but he said in the interview that he doesn't like to be a technical director because it's not his expertise, to judge scouting reports and to be take these decisions.
But if you take that into account, why signing off that deal? Why following up on what the agent was proposing? Why relying on what the agent was proposing?
They panicked because we're talking specifically now. Ocampos came, I think, after Anthony left. So they had a few days left. There was nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So you sign off because of panic. Does that seems like something that a CEO of a listed company should do? Doing panic decisions and do all these kind of things?
On that note, can I just continue?
Sorry, because, go ahead.
No, I mean, look, you're covering a little bit for Van der Sar, but I'm gonna crucify him because I think he overestimated himself. I'm super pissed. An ex-football player that had a career like his, and he cannot judge a footballer on a couple of compilations. Even fans do that. And they know they can do that. And if you don't know enough about your compilations you're getting, go watch a full game of the guy and make your own fucking decision. Sorry about the curse word. Look, he's an ex-football player. All those years he's been a CEO at Ajax. He hasn't talked to anyone. He hasn't had his own connections made. He didn't have connections from when he was back playing. Get the hell out of here. I don't trust anything that guy said. He was just covering his ass. I think he overestimated himself, and he made very bad decisions.
Weren't you defending him like months ago? Weren't you defending him months ago when we had the discussion? I thought you were the one. I thought you were defending him, like give him some slack, etc., etc. But that's, I don't know, maybe.
Look, I understand giving him some slack, but he made the choice to be to put Gerry Hamstra and Huntelaar there. He was overseeing them. He made himself important in that role. So he overestimated himself. Yeah. But I expect from an ex-football player, with his quality and with his career, that he knows how to judge a player. Okay. You don't have to be a technical director for that, to read a scouting report or watch a game yourself to determine the level of a player.
20 million.
I slightly disagree with you, Papimento, because you're saying like it was his decision, and I think it's more that
it was.
Yeah, maybe.
No, it was.
Hold on. Let me just say what I want to say quickly.
they
Let me
could.
just say what I want to say quickly. All right, you can react. I'm saying that we shouldn't ignore the supervisory board because supervisory board failed to appoint a technical director. So I'm not saying that we should relieve, Van der Sar of all blames, but if nobody's appointed and he's the one that should take over together with another two, basically one intern and one guy coming from Ajax who was working on the youth.
Understand.
Yeah.
I understand, Juan. You're going way back to the root cause. You're going way back to the root cause. But this is a specific decision that has been made. And as Papimento said, a bit of common sense, a bit of common knowledge, a little bit of football knowledge. I mean, all the fans were saying 20 million? Ocampos? Really? Are you serious?
Hold on. Yeah,
and now he signs off on that. Sorry, you should have a little bit of responsibility. You can't say it's the fault of the technical, it's fault of the supervisory board. You should take a little bit.
Quite the opposite. They prevented that, right?
Like Juan, I'm just the host.
You should have a bit of responsibility.
I'm not a technical director, bro.
No, I just want to say. Okay, but I just want to say on the comment of the fans, Ajax fans are very knowledgeable. Just look at our channel, okay? Maybe Van der Sar should look at our 100%. Channel more often. Just saying.
100%.
But it's all on Van der Sar. It's basically that simple. They didn't want to give Hamstra a 4-year deal because that was needed for a listed company to make decisions over a certain amount of money. So they all went under the flag of Van der Sar. So you can turn it each way you want. It's all on Van der Sar. This.
All right.
But Papimento is not going to crucify him because he's not going to find a cross big enough. That's one thing. And like to conclude all this, I guess it's a sign of us being a really special, very big, wonderful club because despite all this, we had all this success, right, in the Champions League. So
100%. Yeah,
yes, exactly.
Yeah, but we want to get there again.
Axel, we want Axel. We want to talk about Axel.
All right, let's go with Axel van Dongen. Running out of contract this season, came from an injury. He's now fit. He's now playing. He did well against NAC, I believe, this week. Earlier this week, he got an interview. He said, I'm not very busy with that right now. I'm just concentrating on myself. I just want to get better, play a lot of games, get as many minutes as I can, and of course, I want to stay at Ajax. That was the first thing we heard. Then we heard from Fabrizio Romano, who said, of course, who else? United is monitoring the situation with Axel van Dongen. And then Romano came again, the contract negotiations is basically a bit difficult between Ajax and Van Axel Dongen and his agent. So is this going to be a Brobby situation, guys, in the sense that a youth product potential leaving us early? What do you guys think? Yaiderenko, I know you like to talk about, I know you like Brobby. What is that? Brobby what?
Wanted to stay as well, supposedly. Don't believe a single word a football player says.
All right. Yaiderenko, go ahead. You have always a lot to say about the youth, so you can start with this one.
It's an example of how bad the organization is because you are way too late to have any kind of position with this player to extend him. He can just go like this and then say, I'm going to walk out and see what's out there. And if there's nothing out there, then he maybe sign as well. Or he goes somewhere else where he can deserve 2 million, 3 million, whatever, and then come back in a few years because Ajax has no grudge.
So the blame, you're shifting the blame to Ajax right now. So Ajax is to blame for this situation.
No, I don't think so.
No, it's not. But it's typical that it's not the first time that a talent is at the end of the contract and they're still not have a result. It's not the first time. So it's not all on Ajax because a player and an agent also can disrupt certain things. We know that with Brobby because they did. And that's in their right. but it's kind of a returning thing that players don't sign when Ajax comes 3-4 months before the end of the contract.
Yeah.
They should have tackled this in the summer, in my opinion, and then from there, if he doesn't want to sign, then make your conclusion on that. That was mostly the case in previous years, but as a lot of other things, they left things just going as they are. And
Tomasz. Yeah, Tomasz. So you heard the story before. Basically, you were just writing down. Robbie wanted to stay as well. Does it mean that you don't have the confidence that he will, like what he said, that he will stay? You think this is just, him trying to be nice, etc., but at the end of the day, he will leave us?
Well, believe me or not, but I'm not as such a smartass that I'm supposed to be sometimes. I don't know what's his actual attitude toward all this. He might actually mean it. Yeah, I don't know. It just when I read this, it just struck me as something like almost echoing what Robbie said just before he left to Leipzig. Well, I'm not sure. Are we 100% certain that this contract offer to Axel is the first attempt from Ajax to prolong his deal? Because that's a crucial question here. If we're going to blame anywhere.
I don't think it's the first attempt. That would be a bit late, to be honest.
But it's not only that, Tomasz. It's also, I don't think these players are being talked to. There's no technical manager. There's no plan laid out for what do you want with this guy. Are you going to loan him out and maybe in a year or season?
Yeah, well, that's obviously,
and then you can play
something that you're like expressing with the contract negotiations, right?
Yeah, but hold on. I just want to react to that. We have to be aware of the fact Axel van Dongen has been injured quite some time. So not only that, a couple of times as well. And we know from earlier articles or interviews that came out that he has a physical thing going on that makes him more injury prone. And this adds a totally different dynamic to the whole discussion, because if you're Axel van Dongen and from the doctors, because even doctors said to him, like, I think he was too heavy or too muscular or something. I don't know, something like that. But he can get more injuries than usual, and this has been a problem during his youth. But if you're Axel van Dongen and you know that you have this situation, you don't have guarantees that you will stay fit for a long time. I'm just trying to be on the other side a little bit. Wouldn't you think?
So it's
hold on. If I go to United, hold on. If I go to United, okay. Maybe it's not the same as Ajax in terms of my playing chances, but at least, financially,
bank.
I bank. Yeah, I bank me and my family and stuff like that. I mean, we sometimes forget that. We think, okay, every youth player will come and play the first team, etc., etc. But how much is that also consideration?
Okay, but I thought we were discussing the attitude from the club and whether the club is doing a fine job, because. If the player is doing fine or making a reasonable decision, that's a whole other story. And obviously, there is a couple of contradicting interests in here. Yeah, the club wants to pay as little as possible. The player wants to earn as much as possible. That's obvious stuff. When it comes to
we're discussing.
Yeah. Okay. So because I wanted to, I approach this if there was something that Ajax, there still is something that Ajax could do to prevent Axel from leaving. You say that we might. I assume you suggest that we might have waited and dragged on the negotiations because of the physical aspect of Axel. But he's been considered a huge talent for a very long time now, and. How much do you risk actually if you offer him a good deal? It's not going to be something that's going to disrupt your budget. If he's a really great talent, I guess it's worth the risk. If it doesn't go fine, the club won't go bankrupt. We won't go. We won't lose more than on Campus, for example.
I'm sorry, Thomas. Axel is not of that caliber that I think you should make a special case for him. No.
Maybe. Well, I don't watch. I don't watch that much of.
I would be careful saying that because Ten
I
Hag,
consider him
even Ten Hag let him play.
top talent. Yeah, top talent.
Exactly. So, and it was 1 year ago or 2 years ago.
But if he's but
hold on, I just want to say I want to add something to that. I think, but maybe you guys can correct me. Maybe Sahbi or Yaiderenko can correct me as well. I think Ajax has some kind of policy towards players that get really injured, not an injury like 1 month, but like if we look at Saladin, for instance, Anas, he was very talented, got extremely injured, with his ligaments, I think, or something. And the contract situation stalled. They didn't offer him a contract throughout the period. It only happened after. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So this is something that Ajax does. They don't just hand out contracts even if you're injured for a long time. As far as I can remember, it doesn't happen.
They're more wary at that point.
I don't know. I don't know whether it's policy. I don't know whether it's policy.
No, I think, but I think there's a bigger problem, and we come back to this because we've mentioned it earlier. The organizational chaos. You have a club that has built margin over margin over margin over margin, has lots of cash, and what do they not do is place a good structure, financial structure, to keep youth players, which is your lifeline, again, aboard. It's not tens of millions goes in there.
Yaiderenko, you know how it. I mean, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But, and I'm not saying I know everything, but you know how it works. Our youth in general are looked at from other teams as well, especially in Germany, in the UK, etc. So those agents, if somebody like City flirts, Chelsea flirts with that player, etc., the agent's gonna use that to basically say to Ajax, we want more money. Even if you
do you know what Ajax? Do you know what players like that deserve at Ajax? And do you know what Ajax offers?
Tell me. Apparently.
No, I don't. I know it's much lower as you would expect. Much lower. So within that ballpark, you cannot compete with a 2-3 million salary for a youth player that just became 18.
Exactly.
Fine, that's no problem. But what is a problem is Mazraoui leaving because he deserves, I believe he had $475,000 a year or euros a year, which is absurdity. He still had a part of not a youth contract, but an earlier contract. So his salary wasn't like Tadic, wasn't like Onana, wasn't like.
Hold on. Are you saying, because this I'm not aware of, are you saying that Mazraoui at the end was earning 800K a year?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, because he didn't want to extend his contract, I assume. Yeah, because he always knew he wanted to leave at the end.
I don't know if it's correct, but what I know is that he wanted, I believe, 2 million, and they offered 1.2 in the new contract, which is, in my opinion, is ridiculous. Look at Onana. Okay. Onana wanted 3 million. He deserves 3 million now in Italy. Okay, it's not tax. It's not tax.
Look, yeah, but that's the thing. Okay, so the Onana case, we're going to leave that out because that's different. He didn't play for 9 months, I think. So
no, but he was no. But he was the same. He had an old contract, which was devalued to his skills on the pitch, and they didn't offer a big step upwards enough, which is ridiculous if you look at the track record of Mazraoui and Onana from 2021. They have been in the semi-final of the Champions League.
Yeah.
So why is Ajax doing those kind of things? And they're not doing that always, because when Bergwijn comes in, he gets 4 million. No problem.
Okay. I honestly don't know about. I don't know about how much was offered.
There doesn't seem to be balance. There doesn't seem to be a plan.
But Yaiderenko, I understand the whole salary thing, and I think, but it's also about players wanting a new challenge. Like with Mazraoui, I think he loves Ajax, and I think, of
Yeah.
course, he would negotiate if he was interested and say, "This is my bottom line, nothing less." But I think players after a while are also like with that level, Onana, Mazraoui, Licha. After a while, the eredivisie is too low for you, and you need
Yeah, but hold
the
on.
next
Hold on.
level.
No,
the
but that
next
wasn't the
level.
case.
Hold on.
That wasn't
I
the
just
case
want to
for
say one thing, though. I want to say one thing, Sahbi. You can react in a bit because I'm trying to say
go ahead.
something quickly on. I think the Mazraoui case and Onana case are a bit different than Licha, to be honest, because Licha did get an upgrade throughout, and then Manchester United came. That's a different story. I remember whether it's true or not, or whether it's a PR campaign, we never know. But Mazraoui did say in his last year that he wants an offer that reflects that he's valued. So he did say that in
He
an
wants
interview.
recognition. He wanted recognition.
The negotiation is totally different if you say, here, Mazraoui, you have 2.5
He
million.
wanted to stay. He wanted to stay.
But that's also still ridiculous because what Ajax did with the salary of Suarez ages ago is the way it should be. They had him coming from Groningen. He did marvelous. They did not extend his contract, just upped his salary because he was delivering.
Yeah.
This is what you should do with every player, not youth, not the established. Everyone that delivers gets a higher pay.
Yeah,
And
I think
yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is that there is no real structure in that. It's a little bit like we should help. I'm sorry.
You can structure it. You can structure it like, okay, everyone that is on the first team is a starter, deserves $1 million. Whilst if you have Van Axel Dongen claiming that left wing position, he's not even near 50,000 euros. So there's a huge difference. And if you look at, for instance, if you look at Martinez and if you look at Timber had shown his skills, was still on the low pay, whilst Martinez was a beautiful couple with Martinez, but he out-earned him already from the start. So there's a huge imbalance. And I don't know if...
yeah, interesting. That's an interesting point, to be honest. Look, coming back to Axel, guys. I mean, we all want him to stay, of course, I think. But it's a good point.
I only want him to stay if he wants to make it in the Ajax 1, Juan. And that's most important thing for me. Like, I don't want him to stay for any other reason than wanting to make it in Ajax 1. If he doesn't think he can make it, I think he should leave. But I do like the Taylor mentality that Ten Hag told him, go, and Taylor said, no, I want to make it at Ajax 1.
Yeah.
That's what every youth player should have, and I don't see that often.
Here we go again with the Taylor agenda.
One point.
No, not agenda. I'm just saying,
you should, as Ajax, you should also incorporate this into your season, and they don't at this moment. So I can imagine that a lot of talents are looking elsewhere because Ajax is going to buy another winger when Bergwijn leaves. Ajax is going to buy another striker when Brobby leaves. That's the thinking that could happen.
This is exactly the reason why we need a sports director.
Exactly. Hi, Rick. Good man. He's up early. Thank you, Rick, for the message. Guys, quickly, last topic, and then I will go over the comments really quickly. So let's keep this short, like maybe maximum 10 minutes, which is long overdue, by the way.
But showed us quality.
At least, yeah. Reinders guy, we're being linked. Telegraaf came up with Reinders. Ajax has been actually inquiring about Reinders from AZ. Quickly, your view: is he an interesting prospect for Ajax? What are you guys thinking about this? So let me go with Sahbi first.
I think he's a good player, quite a complete player. But I'm always hesitant with players coming from AZ. It's like a curse. come in, they play so good at AZ, but then they come to Ajax and then it basically vanishes. But I don't know whether he's a player who is an exceptional good player, like a player that can be sold eventually for millions, like 10 or 20 or 30 million.
Okay, hold on. You're skipping, in my view, you're skipping already like the next step. Let's go
No,
back.
because I'm thinking, I'm
do you
looking.
But do you think he can add value to our team?
No,
And bring us to the next level. Wait,
Yes.
Sahbi, I'm asking Sahbi.
to the next level. I don't think so. I think he can bring us to the maybe the same level, but not next level. And if you want to buy players outside our youth academy, they should always be next level. And knowing he's coming from AZ, it won't be 1 or 2 million. So
yeah, that's true. He just recently extended his contract to 2027. So.
even if he didn't extend, AZ is reluctant to sell because they see themselves as competitors of Ajax. So yeah, I don't think it will go through.
It was just funny question. Okay, Papi, go ahead because you really want to react again. So go ahead, man.
No, not even, man. I already said it. Like, I think he's a useful player. I think he would add something to this midfield, to be honest. But I don't see a lot of how do you say that? I don't see another level with him. He's already 24. The contract 2027. I think we were going to pay a lot for him, and I don't see it.
You remember? Okay, so what was your? I know we cannot compare to each other, but do you remember? Because I remember when we got Schöne, he wasn't that young either. And he was.
Oh, you're gonna take that one example that happened.
No, because I'm trying to say it's not the same in terms of contract situation because we got him for free, I think. I'm not sure, but he was not young, and a lot of people were doubting what is Schöne going to do with Ajax. Honestly, that was the whole perception. But what I'm trying to say is Schöne also was a late bloomer. Don't you think that maybe Randers can still evolve? Still being 24 and still becoming better?
Yeah. I think he can, and I think he's a useful player. But look, when you're talking about exceptional players, you're dominating the eredivisie. I don't see him doing that. Like he does have moments where he shines, and other moments that he's not that good. And he's not carrying AZ. Let's be fully. But I do like some things about him. I do like his long distance shot. I do like his dribble. I do like his passing. But I think he's useful. He's not going to take us to another level as a team.
I mean, there's of course a huge difference between a free agent and a player that will most likely cost millions. Yeah, okay, so it's comparing apples with oranges as well.
That's your favorite sentence, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, are bananas crooked? I mean, it's.
Tomasz, what about you? What's your point of view? Do you agree with the guys?
Well, it all depends. Why do we sign him? Yeah, to replace who? Because I don't think he's going to be like an additional player to our squad.
Telegraph was saying
Alvarez.
So I can see the improvement in the technical level here. Still, I guess, yeah. I can see. Well, I'm blocked by Edson because I do not appreciate his football that much. Although I can appreciate his contribution to our team. Don't
make him block us as well on YouTube, man.
Sorry,
okay, please don't make him block us on YouTube. All right,
por favor. Yeah. Anyways, I've seen Edson grow. Yeah, he's technically he's twice the player since he's joined us. I guess we all agree on that. So maybe Reinders would be able to grow defensively as well in a similar manner. I'm not sure.
I don't see better on the 8. He seems to be better on the 8 or
that's the point, because if he's going to be the replacement for Edson, we're buying a player to play him out of position. So I don't know. Maybe we miss our former manager and want to go back to the old ways.
Yeah. And what about I mean, also if you compare, I mean, maybe it's too early. You never know how quickly these things go. But if you're looking also at our youth, our midfield is not the issue, right? If you look at the talents coming up, our midfield, we know with Vos, Misui, these kind of players. I mean, should we buy a player that gonna stay 2 or 3 years? Maybe they will block their development as well. And we're gonna pay a lot of money, like you guys said already. AZ, first of all. Second of all, he has a 4.5-year
That
contract.
depends if you go for Zerouki from as a replacement.
Yeah, so we got a question. Good call, Papimento, from Denny a while ago. Sorry, Denny, that took so long to discuss this. What are your opinions of Randers and Zerouki? So Randers we covered. I mean, would you prefer one over another, or are you more like both? Maybe not. Look at our own youth, or maybe get somebody else. What do you think, Yaiderenko?
I would start using Vos and Misui
Already.
Yeah. So no Zerouki, no Reinders. I think of the two, Zerouki is most favorable for me. I think he's quite a baller. So he
and his contract ends this end of the season.
And
So,
Zerouki is more the 6, right? As well. I mean, he's more
sure.
the 6.
Then that could be an interesting option gamble. But I would like to see the focus again on the youth and start using them, because if you don't use them, you don't know if they can hold up the level
on their own. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Sahbi, go ahead.
I just want to act on Zerouki. It's not the end of his contract after the season. He still has a year after this.
Oh, a year. Okay. 2025. Yeah.
But as for Zerouki, he's actually a real number 6 in comparison with Randers.
Yeah, exactly.
And we need a footballing number 6. So I wouldn't disagree with getting him. He also has an Ajax background, so maybe that would help as well. But he's a good player, technically gifted, great passes, knows how to defend, runs a lot. So he can be a good player to replace Alvarez, because I don't see Vos really taking over Alvarez next season. So
I like competition, right, Sahbi?
And there is competition indeed.
So it's good for the youth to have competition on that.
Okay, so wait a minute. So you guys know I'm a host. I ask a lot of questions. So let me make it more complicated now. What does it mean for Grealish, guys? We never touched upon it, but we know that his contract has basically an extension option for another 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. So we have to decide in a few weeks whether we want to continue with Grealish. Grealish is number 6. So what would you guys do then? If you guys are talking about Zerouki and maybe Vos and all these kind of things, should we keep Grealish?
I mean, we haven't seen a lot of him yet. And if Schreuder doesn't see anything in him, which surprised me because it was under his responsibility, the one who he won't repeat his name. But Hadika doesn't use him as well. So what does it say? Does it say that Grealish is bad, or is it more the coach don't see it in him? I mean, we can't judge at all.
In all honesty, he came from an injury which he picked up a few months ago, so he's now fit. He's getting a little bit more minutes. But if you look at the whole year, he didn't get a lot of playing time. But we still have to make a judgment call sooner or later. And BRN is asking, did we get an extra option? We actually have a 2-year option. So
there's an option.
So that's the thing. So we have to
decide. And there was even an option to sell him this January to Valencia, which Ajax was not reluctant, but it was Grealish who stopped that transfer because he wanted to play for Ajax. He wanted to grab his chance to show himself. But I haven't seen too much of him to really judge him.
Okay. All right, guys, we're going to round this one up. We're long overdue, by the way, the 1 hour mark. It's 10 minutes. Now it's 20.
He wants to say something.
Oh, you still want to say something? I will go over the comments. Go ahead, quickly. Go ahead, Yaiderenko, quickly.
No, Papimento wants to say something.
Oh, Papi wants to say something.
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
About what? Sorry, no.
No, I thought on your face that you said, I want to say something. Okay, sorry.
So quickly on, I think this was already shared. Mauricio van Exeldongen was named the greatest talent of Ajax Youth Academy in the 2021 season. Yeah, I think we shared this already. About the salary discussion which you had with Yaiderenko. Luca, thank you for the comment. Kudu's salary also is far too low in comparison with Ajax. But the thing is, this is also the discussion. It comes back. He signed a contract for 5 years, guys. He's been injured for 2. Now we're seeing him for the first year really, being injury-free, basically, and he's showing what he's capable of. And honestly, I don't know if we are on time now to give him a contract extension in the bedroom. I think it's too late.
Not a discussion even. It's over. We're losing him at the end of the season.
We should still try. We should still try over him.
I agree.
I think that ship has sailed.
All right. The Vagabond, thank you for the comment. I think Van Exeldongen is pissed that Ajax neglected him when he was injured and the medical department couldn't keep him fit. Yeah, it could be.
Possibility.
Possibility.
Again, organizational mayhem.
Yep.
It's all over the place. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
Danny says Vos is way too young yet, so he doesn't agree with you, Yaiderenko. Maybe he should get more time.
He's
you can mature in the first
he's not. He doesn't have the skill yet because Hato is 16. So how young can Vos be?
Yeah.
I mean, it's about skill, right? It's not about age.
If you're good enough, you're old enough.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Last one, Danny Caravel, thank you for the comment. Sell, please, not an Ajax baller. So I think he's talking about Grilic. That was our last person we talked about.
You're either letting him go or keeping him.
Well, actually, it's not a sell. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just not extending. Guys,
if I may have a say on Grilic, it's impossible to have a reasonable opinion from our point of view, I guess. For me,
still, Tomasz, what would you do? Because you have to make the call.
Let me finish. Don't be rude, Juan. You've been terrible today.
Sorry, man. Go ahead.
So my point here is that from what I have seen, how Heiting has been managing the team, I would like trust him on this because he knows. I know it's a very safe answer. But I would just leave it to Heiting. If he sees any value in Grilic, just let him keep him. But
we don't even know. But we don't even know. Look, I'm being the host again. I'm sorry, guys, but we don't even know if Heiting is going to continue as a coach. So why would you?
He is going
to.
But look, you don't bring a Grilic to sit on the bench with a high salary. So if he's not going to be a part of your first team plans, then he should go.
Yeah. Okay.
He's not been crucial for sure.
Again, sports director.
Exactly. All right. I think that's a beautiful end to the live show. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for watching. Guys, if you haven't yet, please give us a like. That will help us a lot. And let's see what happens at the Klassieker on Sunday, guys. This is what we started with.
Prediction?
Did that win?
Predictions?
Okay, quickly. Okay. Sahbi, you can start off.
3-1.
3-0.
5-1.
Oh, wow. 4-0.
4-1. All right, guys.
0.
All right. Enjoy the game on Sunday, everyone, and we'll see you back soon. Bye-bye.
Cheers.